Hello world, I'm Mindy. Oh, what? Oh, you mean this shirt? This is a t-shirt that our class wears when we play volleyball. So, isn't it just cool? Just take a second to admire this. Awesome. Anyway, we're not here to talk about volleyball or our classmates or our school or anything, but today we are going to talk about misunderstandings. If you haven't seen my first video for introducing Taiwan, please click here to see my first video. Anyway, misunderstandings. A couple of weeks ago, I had the opportunity to take a group of people from America to just take them around our schools, tell them about the history of Taiwan. During this activity, some of them raised pretty interesting questions that got me thinking, is that actually what foreigners think Taiwan is? So, before this video officially begins, I have to make a disclaimer. Disclaimer. I am not trying to offend anyone, and I am just telling this because this is what I heard. If you're alright about everything, then let's begin. I'll do this in the order that they asked me. When we arrived at our school, the first question they raised to me was, isn't Taiwan just famous for its food? I was so excited that I almost grabbed that person's head and said, thank you for knowing foods about Taiwan. But the next thing he said was, isn't Taiwan food a bit like spicy and soury? And the woman next to that man was like, yeah, that's what I know about Taiwan food. It's like spicy and soury, isn't it? And at that moment, I was like, what are they talking about? Like, Taiwan is famous for a lot of its food, especially for its snacks and all of those, but none of them fit, like spicy and soury. And then that first man who raised the question, he corrected himself. Oh, no, I was not talking about Taiwan food, I was talking about Thailand food. The first misunderstanding people always get is between Thailand and Taiwan. Actually, we are two different places. People always confuse us because Thailand and Taiwan just, I don't know, sound the same. Although, yes, Taiwan is very famous for its food, so that's for another time then. The second question they asked me, which I personally found a little bit offending, was, how do you actually go to school? Do you go to school by ox carts or what? That moment, I was like, are you serious? There were scooters outside of our school, there were cars, there were bicycles, and I have no idea where that idea came from. As we marched into the school, there came the third question. Because our school is kind of old, I have to admit that, but we are not that old. And there they asked the third question. Do you actually have air conditioners in your school? Here I have to answer you, yes, we do have air conditioning in almost every classroom in our school. We actually had to pay the parts of the electricity bills to turn on the air conditioners. Although not every school in Taiwan has that many air conditioners, but most of them. As we proceed, we started to talk about languages. The conversation started like this. Since you're Taiwan, do you speak Taiwanese? There are two main languages in Taiwan, which is what that foreigner mentioned, Taiwanese and Chinese. Well, most of the people that I know speak very fluent Chinese. Fewer people speak Taiwanese. In Taiwanese, it's kind of complicated because in general, it is part of the Minnan language, but after it had been brought to Taiwan, it has changed because of the different cultures, the environment, and all these different things to create Taiwanese. Anyway, this is a very complicated issue about Taiwanese and Mandarin and such, so let's just leave it to the future. At last, as we finally got back to the gate of our school and we're already going to say goodbye to them, one of them raised another interesting question. Do you have internet connection in your mobile phones? At that moment, I was scrolling through Twitter and Facebook. So yes, we do have internet connection basically everywhere, just to see if the Wi-Fi is locked. that question, that person asked, oh, do you have like TVs in your home? I'm not sure what she's trying to imply. At least in my house, we've got like 2 televisions, one in my parents' room and one down in the living room. That's the end of the tour. And again, I didn't mean to offend anyone. This video is just to let you know more about Taiwan, just in a more interesting way, I hope. And I guess this is the end of this video. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up. And if you're interested in what I have done or what plans I have in the future, then please click here. Or you can click my face to subscribe to my channel. So I guess that's it then. Goodbye!